Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, and I'm back. I am back. I am rejuvenated. I am refreshed. So if you are one of my loyal supporters and I have not been putting out content, I apologize because I know I had spoiled you with content about like 2 or 3 times a week. And I kind of like went a little ghost. So I just felt like I could feel my body needing to relax. I kept getting like, I call them synchronicities when I keep seeing signs and stuff. Like, just kept seeing stuff that said like relax and take care of your body um and I actually had got sick. So I got sick and then I felt like I needed to recover from being sick. So I literally got rest. But even while I was resting, I was packing up our things and we're still in the process of doing that. However, I'm getting somewhere. Like the room is almost there. And I'm trying to be strategic about how I pack. Just making sure like things that I need to get to, that those are accessible. But just having my stuff packed up. So when it's time to vacate, that can be a smooth transition for whoever I hire to help us move. So yeah, I am happy that I'm back making content because making content actually does help me some days. And some days, that just the same way as it's heavy for you to listen to, it's heavy for me to talk about. So, one of my, I would say one of my loyal watchers, she has been checking in and she's actually been helping me get my TikTok following up. So thank you for that. I really, really, truly appreciate it. And she also gave me the topic of the video today. I do have some other topics and other videos that I am cooking up, but I want, because those topics are topics that are, I mean, my life has been affected by it, of course. However, but those topics are, it's a viewpoint from my viewpoint, but about a topic that is universal. So I want to be delicate about that. So like those videos will be coming from the heart still. However, I do want to make sure that I am doing a good job by that topic. I guess doing that topic justice. So those videos are cooking up and loading, and I do have. It's actually funny because that's another synchronicity. Last night I wrote this poem, and it's titled "Soft Girl," and it is so wrapped up into feminism and what it means to be a woman, and and then it's funny because one of my students interviewed me for I think it's the Cohombi. I told y'all I'll mess something up, so don't judge me. But Cohombi River, it's the Cohombi River statement or something. I forgot. I know it goes by like CRC statement, but it was like it's an article about feminism and it was done very nicely. So basically I answer questions based off of our reading from that article. And that one, invoked so much thought about feminism and what feminism means to me as a Black woman. And yeah, so I will be posting that video as well. So thank you to my student for giving me permission to do that. But so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to post that video. There's another one that I want to do. I used to do this video for my students, and it is on YouTube, so I will be linking it. But it's about like Black culture, and I will be posting that. I think I'm kind of going to do a reaction video to that, even though I've seen it 100 times. So it won't be first reaction. And then, I mean, I just have so many topics, but the high school teacher sent me a video of this wonderful girl online who is always, I'm sorry if you're a Swift fan, but she's always like letting you Swift fans know that sometimes she's perpetuating ideologies that is strictly from a white lens and point of view. It is not a universal point of view, and definitely when it comes to American like rights and stuff like that. So that video, we were talking, and like that got my wheels turning on. Like, I just have to do a feminist video from the Black woman's point of view. And no, I do not speak for all Black women. I just speak for this one and those that can relate. So you know that definitely has been a sign that I need to go ahead and broaden my horizons and, do topics outside of my childhood trauma. Even though this is going to lead into my adult trauma, right? so, so I guess, you'll get some different avenues, and hopefully this will broaden my audience. And if it doesn't, like I said, I just make these videos for whoever it relates to, whoever it can help. Whoever it can help unlearn some of, definitely, like if you're from the United States, but I think it applies universal. But I feel like Black experience is different for each Black person. That's another thing that is not viewed correctly. We're viewed from one lens, and there's many lenses of our lifestyles. You have poor Black people, you have middle class, and you have rich Black people. All of our experiences are going to be different. Even the ones that grew up poor, we're going to have different experiences. However, it's all about what you can relate to, or what you can learn or unlearn. So these are what these videos are for. And so this video, I don't even know what to name this video, but I'm gonna have to text her tell her to name this one. But she has some questions for me. So what I'm gonna do is I probably will say question and answer. So, and I told her like she can always ask me stuff, because she's been so supportive. She can always ask me stuff, but that goes to anyone. Like, so if you are wanting to ask me questions about my content, feel free to put it in the comments, or feel free to hit me up on social media and, just ask me and I can do a video on it. I will say keep it respectful. And if you don't, my ignore game is great. If you've been paying attention to these videos, you would know. So, yeah. So her first question is, matter of fact, I wrote them down, but let me go back to the text message, because I probably like wrote that down like as in like college freehand notes. So let me go back to this. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna make this into like one video, because a lot of the questions like definitely related. So the first question is, how do you have the courage to put out such personal content and also still have the courage to face some of the people the content is about? And or how do you face your peers after you log off? Which is an extraordinary question. I would say, literally, to do this, to get to this point, like, I am such an introverted person. I never really like laid my cards out on the table for anyone. Like, even if you were close to me, like my best friend, she even was like, girl, like, I never even knew how you got the scar on your leg the whole time. Like, she was like, yeah, I knew it was a go-kart accident, but like, I never knew the details about what you went through during that experience. Like, probably in her mind, she thought like it was a go-kart accident and I got medical attention. and then that's boom, this is a scar on my leg. But like, no one ever knew like the inner workings. I feel like no one person knew the inner workings of the whole life story. So like, I just was always this person that held stuff in. I was taught that in the house, like family business stays in the house. I was taught that, just vicariously through the environments I'm in, like, you can make one wrong statement and you could probably be taken away from your parents and just making one wrong statement. So I feel like definitely not even just from the fear of, being taken from my parents. It just became this greater fear of, even if you tell your business, like somebody is going to throw it in your face or going to shame or embarrass you. Like you learn these experiences through your peers too. So it's not just the household taught me. It was like the household taught me, life taught me to shut the up. And I definitely, as a kid, was a verbal and vocal kid. Like I told everything, starting out, and then it was like life happened and life shut me up. Life kind of like stole my voice. So it's like now I'm at this point where it was like life was once again, which I'm gonna say God once again, like, use your voice. Use your voice. Like you have a voice. Use your voice. And not only do you have a voice, your story and your viewpoints on life and your experiences can help somebody else. Like we have no idea how many girls who are, like girls and boys, because I feel like boys do not get to like feel comfortable at all. Like if you think girls don't get to feel comfortable talking about sexual assault and sexual abuse, like boys don't. Even more because now they're, hit with a lot of different things surrounding them in that department. So it's just like, I tell these things without thinking about myself, because I feel like if I was to starting out, like now I've become conditioned to it's okay. But first starting out, it was punishment for me. Like it felt hurtful. It felt raw. It felt like, girl, have you lost your mind? And it was like, no, I lost my mind a long time ago when I decided to remain silent and to allow others to dictate how my life would be. So it's like now the initial shock is over for me. It's like now it's become like this second nature thing. And it doesn't mean that like in the back of my head, like I don't get these moments where I feel vulnerable and I feel like, maybe you said too much, or, maybe you should edit this out this video. And it's like, no, I'm doing this so that other people can see me being a person and hopefully they can be a person themselves. Because I feel like society has brainwashed us into thinking that we have to be these perfect beings and these perfect vessels in order to make a difference in this life. And I feel like that's our whole purpose for being here, is to make this place better. So in order for me to do that during this part of my journey is for me to open up my mouth and for me to tell vulnerable things that I just never would have told. And to kind of get back on topic of your question, far as the courage, I felt like all my life I had been a coward. Like I actually wanted to do, that's another video I wanted to do. I always felt like I was a coward. I never, I'm not gonna say I never. For the most of my life, I didn't get to be who I knew I was. I didn't get to verbalize how I felt. And even if I got to verbalize the results didn't change. So I just always felt like a coward, even down to like when it came to helping people. I had a situation with my sister, and I said I wasn't going to tell her story, and I'm still debating on that because it's just so much involved with that, like, and it has finally died down. Like when my brother died, it finally had died down, because at one point I thought I was going to have to hurt her again. And so I kind of just don't like talking about that, because I don't want I just don't want to give energy to certain people or things. I just don't like to feed it. But it was a situation where like my sister was like, because she had used me and gotten over on me, she told me that I was a coward because I should have said something. And she was right. And I laugh at that shit to this day, because she was right. She was actually right. Like, I should have said something instead of letting you keep getting over on me and letting it build up and build up. You're right. I should have stopped you. But she was saying it in the sense of, I should have said something to her so I could have let her know that she was messing up. And but she knew she was messing up. She just didn't care. So it still points out to the point that, like, I was used to being a coward for so long, like literally to a person had to tell me, like, you're a coward. And I was thinking to myself, like, bitch, I ain't no coward. Like, because I know I could throw hands. I thought that meant I wasn't a coward, when all actuality it didn't have nothing to do with my brute force. Like, it was about, are you gonna stand up for yourself? So because life had gotten to me, and I'm thinking being a nice person is allowing people to walk on top of you and walk on top of you. And I ain't gonna say walk on top of you, but to give them chances and the benefit of the doubt. I don't do the benefit of the doubt no more. I do. You get a benefit of the doubt the first time, and depending on our relationship, you get it the second time, but the third time, baby, you out. And I mean it. Like, you out. It doesn't mean that there's ill will with us, but it just means that, like, it'll never be the same. I don't have the trust that is required in a relationship. So when I do these videos, if these videos are done and there's a person that, like, honestly, I feel like there is no, coming back. It doesn't mean that, like, I dislike you. It doesn't even mean that, like, if I see you, I can't say hi to you. Like, I can even say hi to your ass. Like, I can say hi to you and I can wish you well. But it just means that me and you and that bridge won't cross again. I won't give you the same opportunity or a better opportunity to do me worse. So when I tell these stories, the stories that I tell, I definitely feel like, depending on the situation and how the person has handled the situation, is based on whether me and you can cross the bridge, whether we can meet at the bridge, whether you can come past through the bridge, or whether I'm going to stick my trolls on you if you step foot on the bridge, or whether I have burnt the bridge all the way down to the ground. So I feel like it's just, you got to use discernment. And I've used discernment, and some of these people in these videos, no, me, you, and bridge ain't bridging. And then there's some people, like I said, I've made it adamantly clear, like, my mom is my mom. My mom sacrificed for me. She made some big mistakes. She even made a mistake today. Go call me and talk about a family member needed a favor. Like, girl, my world is crashing down. Don't even call me telling me somebody need a favor. Ain't nobody favored me. Ain't nobody called me and checked on me. Like, I can't do no favors for nobody. Not in 2024. If you ain't did a favor for me in 2024, don't expect me to do a favor for you. And I mean that, and I stand on that. And I don't say it with malice or harshness. It's just that, like, let's be real. Like, if you ain't checked on me and my kid this whole time, like, and I mean, people have, but I'm just saying the people that have not at all. If you ain't checked on us, like, don't even think for a second I can do anything for you. Even if you have checked on us, there are moments where I can't do anything for you. Like, I'm literally selfish. And I feel like selfish get a bad connotation because of people who are very self-centered, because that's the difference. I am being selfish with my time, my energy, what I even allow to seep into my brain. So if it is not for the best welfare of me and my child, like, I can't do it. So when I tell these stories about people, family members, friends, yeah, some of them bridges we can't cross. There is a story that I'm gonna tell about eventually, about a girl who, she pulled a gun out on me when I was younger. And for the life of me, I wanted to kill her. And, well, unalive her, excuse me. Don't take the video down. Unalive her. But I changed my whole perception on that. I feel like for real, God had a lot to do with this because she met me during the time in my transition period. So, she re-met me again, and I don't even know if she knew, but it felt like she knew. I knew, and at that very moment, it took a lot of things in me not to like pull her to the side and be like, "You remember that this happened?" And it was just like God kept saying, like, it really don't even matter. But I'll tell that story another day. I feel like with her, I forgave her. I forgave her. I don't hold no grudge against it anymore. I feel like we was kids, and I feel like it was a lot of inner workings in that situation. However, a lot of things that happen would unfold and be a catalyst for me doing a lot of things in life. During that time period, I feel like for 17, 18, it shaped a lot. So, but like, yeah, so I think it's like discernment. So, like, even though that's a pretty harsh one, and like most people be like, you can't come back from a situation like that. But like, I don't even place blame on her when I look at the whole situation. So I think it all just depends on the situation. Like, I feel like if you want to have the relationships with people, you have to decide who you want in your space. Your space is so precious. Like, and it took me 34 years to learn this. Like, it is so serious. Like, when I mean my circle is small, I mean my circle is small, and it bothers me sometimes that my circle is so small, but at the same time, it's like, would you rather your circle be small and secure, safe, and peaceful, or would you rather have a circle that's it got some loose entryways because you got people in the circle that ain't really there for you. You got drama and chaos in your circle. So even when it comes down to family, friends, anybody, like, typically, like, my mom is the most dramatic person in my life right now. like she literally is the most dramatic person in my life right now. And she gonna stay until it's time for her to go or time for me to go, because we'll never know who go before who. But she is definitely like she's my most thrilling person. And her stuff ain't even that bad at this point. Because we are learning to respect each other's boundaries. But she's older, so she like to gossip, and I don't like that. Like, them people business. I do not give two bleepity bleeps, and I be just wanting her to keep that stuff over there, because a transfer of energy is real. Like, you transferring that shit over here. Like, I got my own stuff. That I'm trying to get to God. God tired of taking. Can you stop putting other people's stuff over here? Like, and so be selective. That's what I'll tell you. Be selective. That's what I'm doing. I'm being selective with who can be in my space. The question about my peers. So, how do you face your peers? I face them with my middle fingers up. That's only for the ones that's negative. Anybody who knows me knows that, like, yes, I am passive. Yes, I can be passive aggressive. And yes, I can be downright aggressive. And when it comes to any peer who has anything negative to say, for real, I probably know your business. You just don't know that I know. So shut up. That's all I can say. People should stop judging people because they got their own stuff that they need to worry about. However, thank God, my experience has been wonderful. I know that it won't, always be so great, but for the most part, it has been wonderful. The people who are seeing my content and are supporting me has said wonderful things, has said how much it's helped them. So, or even if it's nothing that they can relate to, they're still, telling me, like, you're brave, you're strong. And if y'all knew, like, basically I just got tired of living the way I was living prior to. So I just had a breaking point. And and it just was time. So, like I said, this was something that was put on me. It was nagging at me. Like, God was just telling me, like, it's time. It's time. You need to poop or get off the pot. And ma'am, um, you know, you're done pooping. So get off the pot and get on the soapbox. So that's what it was. I don't know why I just went awkward right there, but I did. I don't know. Y'all let rappers talk about poop a lot, so I'll be okay. Um, what else? Yeah, the Piers one, I definitely can see where that one would be daunting, but fuck them people. That's the only thing I can tell you. Like, I think it would take a sick person or a person that is severely damaged to hear the stories that I tell and for them to like actually like hate. It will have to be something wrong with you internally. And that's what makes me don't care, because it's like you're literally not mature enough for this conversation or this video, and eventually you'll get tired of listening. So I don't care when I, let out my stuff, because it's basically like you can't shame me, because I've lived in shame and embarrassment and guilt my whole entire life. So I feel like people who have been through things, they get it and they relate. Like, there's people who have been through worse things than me. There's people who have been through similar things, and there's people who haven't experienced that a day in their life, but they just are human and have compassion. And sometimes some people have empathy, which I don't think is a taught thing. I mean, which I don't think is kind of taught. I think you either got it, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I think most people, they gotta either have it or don't. But maybe you can go through things in life and you can grow. So we're not gonna hold nobody where they at. But yeah, I think with the Piers thing, I look at it from that lens. Like, if you're gonna judge me for the things I am talking about, for the things I'm talking about, it's something wrong with you and not me, because I have survived, and not only have I survived, I never let those things stop me from thriving. Literally the rose who grew from concrete based on some of the events that I've been through. So I feel like, that's some work, some inner work other people have to do if they do come at you sideways or negative. And it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be okay. Just know it's not you, it's them. Um, is there a healthy way to express to people that you perceived as doing you wrong in some way and still maintain healthy relationships? Or do you feel as if once you bury all the relationships you once shared with the person is kind of mute or void now that you have decided to speak up or decided to no longer sweep said issues under the rug? Oh my gosh, when I read this question and when I'm rereading it now, like, I literally hear the you don't want to tell because you're thinking about how someone else is going to feel. What about your feelings? And I get this 100%. Like, I literally had to go through this about whether I was going to share that I had shared with my mom about sexual abuse in the past, and with my father. To this day, she still denies that, I never came to her. And to this day, I will stand on it that I came to her. Her perception is going to be her perception. I truly think the way that sexual abuse was handled in my mom's past, because I even like it was so much sexual abuse in my family. Far as like it was just, it's so much. And I feel like on both sides, but I know more about my mom's. But it's so much sexual abuse that happened. And I don't feel like it was dealt with correctly. So I feel like because it wasn't dealt with correctly, she just did not know how to handle it. Now that I'm also realizing like how your nervous system and your brain can work, like you literally can go through something so traumatizing that, it makes you, block that situation out. And so I think for my mom, I learned to block things out. And I think she blocked things out. And I think she blocked things out so much so that, she doesn't want to remember. She chooses not to remember. I think even now, since it's been so much time, she probably don't remember. And I feel like, that's that. Like, I can either be like, and I wouldn't be wrong. I could be like, I'm not dealing with her no more. Um, and I could be fine with that. However, for me, and I don't feel like, it's a right or wrong for somebody. I feel like you have to do what makes you feel better. For me, my mom did make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. Um, had I wished she would have protected me more? Yeah, I did, and I do. However, moving forward, all I can do is do better and right by my child, and have those conversations with her and have an open space. And one of the things I was doing wrong with my child was I was projecting it. Like, I was like, you go somewhere, like, did such and such anybody touch you? Like, so I had to learn, like, I had to reel that shit in, because, like, that shit used to make her feel uncomfortable. Like, what do you mean, like, somebody touched me? Like, no. Like, so just reeling in, like, not projecting my own insecurities onto my child, because I wasn't protected. Like, and it came up a lot, like, after I call it a spiritual awakening. But, like, when Dante died, like, that was a spiritual awakening for me. Like, it came out a lot. Like, I was like, bruh, did anything happen to you? Like, tell me, like, let me know. Broke down to cry because I thought something did happen to her. Like, so it's, for me, I feel like this question once again goes back to, are you protecting the people that have wronged you, or are you going to free yourself? So I feel like if you're still wanting to protect them, you still got some work to do. And it's not a bad thing, because this stuff is a lot of heavy stuff that we go through in our childhoods. And even if it's not like sexual abuse, there's just so much that comes with poverty that is a hard thing. It's even down to, like, there are certain ways that I was spoken to or talked to, and the semantics, like, getting caught up on semantics, like, become this whole argument, like, of, I was like, Mom, like, I had experienced, like, a lot of violence and domestic violence in the house. And she would be like, well, those weren't my boyfriends. But, like, you're just totally skipping over the fact that regardless of who they was to you, I saw them as a boyfriend. But that's not even the problem. The problem is that y'all used to be fighting in the house around us. So, like, that's what I picked up on. Like, I picked up on, like, violence and fighting. And me and her have these conversations now, but back in the past, like, it was almost like, I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it, like Matilda. Like, it was nothing you could do about it. And it's like, now that I have gained my voice, and I do not allow other people to validate my experiences. And sometimes I do get kind of caught up, because 33 years of, allowing others to validate my experience or invalidate them. I definitely am working on this, but I'm getting better at it. So I definitely feel like that question that was asked, it sounds like you're kind of still caught up on, I guess, protecting the people who have wronged you. It's now time to protect you and speak out for you. What happened to you, and once you come to terms with that is real and that's your reality, I feel like it's such a better space, and you don't really care too much on what the other person is going to have to say. um for me, like I said, I have to deal with these conversations with my mom sometimes, like, I feel mostly because she don't want to come to terms with things. And so me, I feel fine now. Like, it's like, hey, You got to work on your stuff. I'm working on that. You work on yours. So I would say care a little less about what others think or feel when you do start to come out and talk about your stories or your life experiences or what they've done to you. Um, Care a lot less. Care about you. Be the person that you wish, would have showed up for you as a little kid. Be the person that shows up for your kids. Be that person to yourself. That's what I'm learning. So yeah, I thought that was definitely some good questions. And then sweeping that stuff underneath the rug. Oh my God. Like, lift that rug up and clean from underneath that rug. Like, we need to stop. I would say if you're safe, if it feels safe to you, air out your own dirty laundry. I always knew that as a teenager. However, I never used it for like family stuff, but I definitely like wouldn't let people try to like use certain stuff against me. Like I'm a wear my own stuff. So, but I will say just make sure that it is safe for you to do so. Make sure that you are doing this at your own pace and all that stuff. Like, you do not have to jump off the porch and throw out content, like I did. But just do you, and when you're ready, you're gonna know. Because you're not gonna care about what. And even if you do care, you're just gonna be like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna do this thing. And once you do it, like, you're gonna feel free. If you do it and you do not feel free afterwards, I would say you still got work to do. And that's okay. Like, I literally have been in therapy for over 7 years. So prior to this, like when I was cleaning up my room, I just found like my codependency workbooks, my codependency coloring books, my codependency book, because I had different ones, and I think I had gave one away to somebody's child. I gave it to somebody's daughter, and yeah, like codependency. I was the definition of codependency, like literally picked a man up out of jail. Like, literally, definitely codependent. Definitely needed him to need me. Because that's just what I was used to. Like, I sought validation out of helping others and being needed. When all along, my whole self, my whole being, my whole essence of me needed me. And so yeah, I definitely say you can do it. Like, I literally was a coward most of my life. So definitely, if I could do it, anybody can do it. I would say that. Um, so I think that's where this video is gonna end. But it was good to start making content again, and I think I got on the perfect shirt because I got a lot of rest. And I thank you for still supporting me and listening and sharing these videos. If you do personally know me, like texting me and calling me and letting me know, that definitely helps. Even giving me ideas sometimes. Like, sometimes they say like writer's block. I be having voice block. And then some days, like I'm going through a lot of different cycles of grief. Like, some days I just don't even feel like putting out the content because I feel like a lot of the content is sad. However, I'm gonna stop second guessing myself. Like, shit, I'm going through a lot, and I am a sad person at times. And then sometimes, like, I'm bubbly, like I am today. Like, that's just human. That's being a human. So, yeah, that's that. I can only be me, and that's one of the things that I'm loving the most. I think when I think of authenticity, like, I think of loving myself, no matter how I show up or how I present, loving me. That doesn't mean that I won't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that like I won't offend. And matter of fact, I make my content to offend. So I make my content to offend. And when I say that, I make my content to kind of put people in these uncomfortable positions where they have to like think about things and think about why they feel this way. Yeah. So I don't know. I will always try to stay true to who I am. And sometimes I'm just sad. Sometimes I'm tired and drained. Like I'm literally doing this by myself. I do have a support system. However, my support system is overworked and tired, just like I am. So it's hard to feel okay with leaning on them because I know how it feels. So day in, day out is me and the kid. And some days you're gonna get some sad videos, and some days you're gonna get some upbeat ones like today. Like I got to get some rest finally. So I am okay. And yeah. So some days you might get an angry one. I'll be angry and sad at the same time. I think anger is actually a byproduct of sadness. Like I'm I'm angry because I am hurt. So it's like anger will come out too. So I don't know why in the end of this video it's just turned about the emotions. And you know I'm excited about seeing Inside Out too. I remember Inside Out, the first one, I took Charlotte and Dante's niece to go see that. And she had just suffered a loss of her father, which was Dante's brother. And I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm big about the kids. So like that was just something like I love that movie. It was about, your emotional regulation and how that system is set up. And it was like the first time that like having feelings was presented to me as being okay and normal. And I understood it in that cartoon animated movie. So I am so excited to see Riley's transition as a teenager because Lord knows we all know that is a crazy time. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about Inside Out 2. And I'm gonna leave y'all alone after that because now I just feel like I'm rambling. And I'm gonna try to get back to some of the serious content. Dum dum dum. So until next time, I love y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Don't work too hard.